This micro-study is an exploration of the role writing has in the lives of undergraduate students. And though I was able to draw several conclusions from the data, perhaps the most frustrating, pressing, and actionable issue is the evidence of the tension writing represents between students and teachers. The students in this study responded that they use writing as a learning strategy. They use writing to engage with both the material and the class, to explore ideas. Even those students who don't like writing admit that writing tasks help them pay attention to the course and helps them remember the material. Of course, this is what we want for and from our students. In fact, these students have described the pedagogy behind writing to learn strategies, even though they don't exactly frame it that way. Students know that in a class without writing tasks, quote, perhaps we wouldn't dive into the subjects on our own account, or that they, quote, wouldn't have participated in class as much if there was no writing tasks, or that, quote, it would have felt like I wouldn't have learned anything. These are actual student responses from the survey. The first takeaway is that students are using writing in ways that we want and encourage them to. However, while students appear to be able to articulate why writing is important to them, they have a difficult time saying why faculty assign writing tasks. Instead of talking about engagement or learning, the majority of student responses mentioned moves of perfunctory assessment. For example, their teachers assign writing, quote, to ensure that we understand the material. Positioned like this, writing is not about learning, but rather one more way to hold students accountable to the work. These same students who use writing in sophisticated ways think their teachers are using writing only as a measurement. And yes, sometimes writing tasks are collected as summative assessment, but that's not the only reason we assign writing in our classrooms. Let's recall some of the threshold concepts of writing studies. Writing is a subject and an activity. Writing reveals and creates identity. Writing builds community. I could go on. The point is that students seem to be using writing as a secret tool for learning, when actually they are using writing in endorsed and prescribed ways. So then, students know that they use writing for learning, and they assume teachers use writing for assessment. Perhaps this is because so much writing, for example, term papers and essay questions, receives a number or letter grade. Other research has shown that what becomes invisible when a writing task receives a grade is all the work behind the writing. The doodling, reading, research, discussion and conferencing, revision, that is, the learning. In this way, writing represents a tension between students and teachers, a tension of cross purposes. Students think we are not using writing the same ways they are using writing. One particularly important takeaway we can draw from this micro study is that it is time to be more transparent with our students about what the assignments they are doing are accomplishing pedagogically. It is possible, even probable, that we treat our pedagogy as a hidden force in the classroom, that we keep our students from looking behind the curtain, an academic version of The Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the teacher behind the curtain. Unfortunately, that means that our students are unable to reconcile their uses of writing with what they assume to be our reasons for assigning that writing. I think our students are more sophisticated classroom participants than that. Or they can be if we would invite them in. We could be on the same pedagogical team if we were better about articulating the pedagogical purposes behind the writing tasks we assigned. Not only would students be better able to articulate why faculty assign writing tasks, they would be able to attend to that pedagogical purpose. Oh, this task is to check for understanding. I'll make sure that I describe what I know. Oh, this task is to allow me an opportunity to flesh out my ideas and seek non-obvious connections. I can feel comfortable taking some creative risks here. This goes beyond recording assignment rationales or posting the learner will statements. This is about co-creating, a cooperative learning space. Imagine how powerful writing could be if we all worked toward the same ends. The final and most important takeaway is this. Playing on the same pedagogical team might very well be part of the answer to concretizing theories of FAR transfer. If we articulate what and how we are accomplishing our learning objectives, it is likely that our students will be able to participate in that learning and then articulate those objectives at the end of the semester, and maybe even years later. This is where future research needs to continue. Does telling students what is happening in the classroom lead to farther reaching knowledge transfer? I think so. And it begins by ameliorating the tension writing represents between students and teachers. Thank you for your time.